Royal News Network Saturday morning live stream. So much royal news going on today. We obviously have Charles, who was diagnosed with cancer last week, I think, but we officially found out on Monday, which has totally changed the trajectory of this year in so many ways, because obviously Catherine is still recovering from her abdominal surgery, and so William's been out there on half term now, so they're taking a little bit of break with their children. So just so many things going on. And then obviously we have a lot of stuff with Harry and Meghan this week. I almost couldn't keep up. So Harry is presented an NFL award. I just did a video on that, which was utterly bizarre because he spent most of the time talking about rugby. We also have as well Meghan doing her paparazzi stroll, Harry going to the UK and coming back very quickly, only getting perhaps about I think somebody said as low as 12 minutes, as high as 30-minute conversation with Charles. But obviously he had to get back because he needed to make the money by going and presenting the award. Harry and Meghan will probably be at the Super Bowl. We also have Harry settling with the Mirror over his case and obviously his continued vendetta against Piers Morgan. It seems like that is his goal, is to go after Piers Morgan. And I've said it time and time again. Goodness gracious, I made the mistake of trying to read the scroll, and then I got distracted. This vendetta is something I think is utterly pointless. I've said that time and time again. I don't think he's not winning any points with the media. I don't think he's winning any points with the general public. It's like his personal vendetta. Now that I think about it, I think the BBC did say that he's not gaining anything with the public and he's antagonizing the media. So what is the point of the whole this? Because if he's going to create and go after Piers Morgan and continue this campaign, then he really needs to just be cognizant of the fact that he could really end up destroying his career or destroying whatever he has. So yeah, so it is very, very interesting to consider. So anyways, guys, so much going on. And we have an official state tour for Denmark. So they are going to Sweden, Norway, and then the Faroe Islands and Greenland. And so this will be in May, part of the tour. And I'm so excited because I am strongly, strongly considering going to the Denmark stops in Sweden and Norway. Because I enjoyed Sweden the last time I was there. I'd love to go back. I'd love to go to Norway. And it's just a great opportunity because these families are so close. These are going to be very special, I think, tours. And so I'm really hoping to get that. And then I have something I'm going to be working on. Hopefully I'll give you guys more info. I'm hoping to launch it next month, but I need to do kind of reorganizing my office and a bunch of things. So I'll have another live option hopefully coming next month. But once I have more details, I will let you guys know. So let's get over here to the chat. We have John Pritchard. Brittany, you need to know that thousands of your subscribers are being unsubbed on a regular basis. That is so weird. That is so weird. I don't know. I need to talk to YouTube. I did email them last night about something, so I need to go back and get that again. So Nancy has also become a YouTube member. Thank you so much, Nancy. You are so kind. I do appreciate it. And then we also have Recollections May Vary. That is a great handle. Mike Tyndall's reaction to the NFL must have been epic. Yeah, it is. It is funny. It is because it's just so weird. And it's like you're presenting an NFL award, yet you're there talking about rugby and how the U.S. stole rugby and named it football. I just don't understand. It just felt so incredibly odd to me. It's just so incredibly bizarre. And my dad thought so too. My dad's a big football fan. So we have Gina B as well. Good morning from Super Bowl Central, fabulous Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. I hear the Sussexes will be attending the big game this weekend. Do you think Paramount invited them, and how would an A-lister avoid them? So I think Harry and Meghan will definitely 100% go. I don't think there's any reason why Harry would be there unless they could go. And again, because Meghan, it needs to be seen and heard, and Harry, just goes along with it. And I mean, I think he enjoys it too. I shouldn't put all the burden on Meghan, but I think she just drives so much of what they end up doing because it's so B-list desperate actress Hollywood. That's Meghan's thing from the jump. And so I think 100% they will be there. I don't know if Paramount invited them because I don't know who is it on CBS? I don't really know. But I mean, I don't even understand why they would be trying to get on CBS. Like, Paramount streaming doesn't have any money. It just doesn't make any sense. Just from strictly a business standpoint. And then an A-lister, avoid them. I would imagine they'd be in a suite of some kind. They might be with other A-listers. It would depend on if the A-lister wants to be seen with them or not. I just don't see a ton of A-listers going, yeah, I want to hang out with Harry and Meghan. Because here's the thing. I think people do hang out with them, but I think it's usually business arranged type things. And they're nice. Everybody's nice. But the truth is like, they're nice to their face, and then they may talk about them behind their back. And that's kind of how Hollywood is. So we have another Nancy has become a YouTube member again. I have 2 of them. So just wanted to make sure I didn't miss that. Okay, we have Millie, good morning. And then picked a woman unsubbed. Maybe it's every sentence goes up like a question. I get tired of that. And unsub all the time. Oh, well, it's something you got to do. So it's not exactly, there's different ways of doing it, but anyways, Jedi Mom, good morning. I heard NFL said they are no to them attending the game. I haven't heard that, but I think they are. I can't imagine Harry, like, why would he come all the way back? And again, it's one of the biggest events in the United States every year. And so it is something where you want to be seen, perhaps, and it's close enough to Hollywood that they could do it. And there'll be a lot of Hollywood people there. Because again, at the end of the day, all Harry and Meghan really care about is being seen and heard, not doing any work. Because I think, again, that's the problem. Said this a lot, is that Harry and Meghan always seem to want to be seen and never like do anything. So they seem like always like they're having fun, which is great. That's fine. But they don't even have any work to produce that is part of that as well. And of course, they will be going up to Vancouver probably next week for the Invictus Games. I have strong feelings about the Invictus Games. I think it's going in a bad direction. So Karen, good morning from Northern California. Letitia, good morning, everyone. And greetings from Connecticut. I love Saturdays with the best world news. Hi, Brittany. Hello. And we have Becky from Pennsylvania as well. Hope everyone had a wonderful week. We have Ritz, one of our members. Good morning from Chicago. Deirdre, we'll listen later. Princess Anne and I are watching the Scotland match. As you should. Go Scotland. Go Scotland. I'm so excited. I'm really hoping our trip comes together for later this year. I cannot wait to go. It's been so long since I've been to Scotland, and it's going to be amazing. Peggy Spurgeon says, good morning, one of our members. I have to ask this question because I feel so badly for Prince William. Did you notice that he was swaying and blinking while making an appearance after Harry left the UK? Ooh, I can't really say if I saw that or not. I can't really say if I did. I didn't notice it too much on the videos. And, it's just one of those things, too, where it could just be that, there's just a lot going on. And so he's, tense and he's feeling a lot of the pressure. The crown is now much heavier than it was just even a couple of weeks ago, and it's something where he's dealing with a lot. So if he's I think he's fine, but I'm sure there's a lot of tension, a lot of stress going on behind the scenes with Harry there, his wife and everything. So I can imagine that William sometimes is just a little just discombobulated, you could say. AJ has become a YouTube member. Thank you so much, AJ. Welcome to the family. Okay, so let's keep going here. We have Oksana. If Paramount does anything with them, they will cancel my subscription, Yellowstone, PTM. Yeah, I just cannot see the point in signing them with Paramount. Just because Paramount, my understanding is that Paramount actually, it has decreased its like credit ranking or something for its streaming because its streaming has performed so poorly. Again, the thing that's performing the best with streaming is Netflix. And if they've lost Netflix, I just don't know where they'll go. And they definitely will not get a mega deal again. They will not get a mega deal again. This fan says, good morning, Brittany. Do you think King Charles III will do anything Zoom related like the late Queen? Yes, he will do a lot of his meeting with the Prime Minister this week was via Zoom. And that is totally understandable. If you've never had somebody who's gone through chemo, usually the first week is the worst. I mean, I don't want to say, I should say, I don't know if chemo is what he's been given. I would guess that's probably it. Could also be immunotherapy, but that's generally less challenging on your body than something like chemo. So if he's really feeling the need to stay away from people and stuff, I could see it being chemo. And if you are on something like that, you just do feel pretty terrible that first week. So it's understandable that he'll do things via Zoom a lot oftentimes. And I think that's perfectly fine. You know, he can do 100% what he can, and what he can't, just recognize those kind of things. And I think he'll get through it, and I think he'll do great. Obviously hoping he does really well, but you just never know. You just never know. It's really hard to know what exactly will happen behind the scenes. And that's why I think Harry just doing this short little trip, not bringing his kids, going back, and then, you know, obviously because he needs a paycheck going and presenting this award, it's like, you know, you've lost time with your grandfather because you were selfish. You lost time with your grandmother because you were selfish. Do you want to lose time with your father? Do you want to rob your children of time with their grandfather? Like, Harry needs to seriously consider these questions and not consider what it means for Meghan Markle's Hollywood career, because that's too often where I see him leaning. Kelly White became a YouTube member. Thank you so much, Kelly. I hope you really enjoy it. I will probably do some behind the scenes things as I move my office, because I'm switching office rooms because I have an idea for something and I need a different space. So we are going to do that hopefully sometime soon. Kimberly, I don't see how they're getting gigs. Everything they touch turns muddy. Yeah, I mean, but I think people still want the royal dirt. And so they're willing to kind of exploit Harry and Meghan because they're willing to allow themselves to be exploited to get royal dirt. So yeah. DS says, good morning from Pensacola, Florida, and hats off to Prince William for showing men out there how to balance life as a husband, father, and working royal. Well done, you. Yes. So I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing, I don't think we'll see William next week. I hope we see him shortly after that, because it's just slim right now with the monarchy. So I'm hoping he gets back to work soon. Kim, hi everyone from the UK. Finally made it to a live early. Yay. And we have Elaine. Good morning from Rhode Island. Are we going to see Meghan Markle's face on TV during the Super Bowl? I think not. I think so. Kimberly says, I sure hope not. And Trisha says, good morning from Virginia. We have Kim. Who runs the Super Bowl? Is it Paramount? I think it's CBS. This is CBS this year. Yeah, CBS is going to be running the Super Bowl. CBS is owned by yes, so it's owned by Paramount Global. So if they're there, it could be part of Paramount. But again, I don't see what Paramount could be paying them for, because there's just not that much. They just, I can't remember if it was Paramount and WB. So Warner Brothers were thinking of merging. Again, Hollywood just went through massive downturns with the strikes and everything. The industry has completely contracted. I just don't think there's much money there to indulge Harry and Meghan. And again, I think they'll all play nice, but they know the thing that with Harry and Meghan that succeeded was trading off the royals. So they want more of that. They don't want of their other stuff. They want more of that. At least if I was a business person, that's what I would want from Harry and Meghan. Nancy said, good morning from Atlanta. We have Terry. Greetings from Philadelphia. Ella says they're going to the Super Bowl. She's probably associated with Taylor Swift again. Yeah, I'm sure she'd love to be in that Taylor Swift box, because definitely the camera will be on Taylor Swift a lot during that game if she makes it, because she has to fly in from Tokyo. So Gina B says, I don't think Paramount is running any programming at the game, but I'm sure they have a box suite for A-list guests. Wondering about Tom Cruise. He's a huge Paramount associate and just saw Prince William. Again, it all depends. Usually a lot of celebrities end up going to the Super Bowl, and especially this year, again, with it being in Los Angeles. Was it in LA last year? Where was the Super Bowl in 2023? In 2023. Sorry. It was in Arizona. So not that Arizona is obviously as close to Los Angeles as Las Vegas is. I think generally the appeal more for Las Vegas for Hollywood types is there. So I can see a lot more of them going there. Anybody who has a residency in Las Vegas, so Katy Perry will be there. A lot of people will be there. Oh, we have another new member, Heather Register. Hi, Heather. So glad you have become a member. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, Lady Joan says, good morning from sunny Florida. How's everyone doing this morning? Tom Cruise is moving to Warner Brothers, though. That could be interesting. It'd be interesting to go back to like the old Hollywood system. This is Maggie Smith. Hi from UK. I agree with Brittany. He is an embarrassment. He seems to have the wrong opinion on everything you hold dear in the US. Yes. Harry thinks he's a royal of the US now. It's like, you left the job, dude. It's just, Lady Jones says the whole thing with Harry and Meghan wanting to be at the Super Bowl and close to Taylor makes me think about Meghan saying that she met Emma Watson when in fact Emma wanted nothing to do with her. Yeah, Meghan's just, again, she's desperate for clout because she can't generate it on her own. She's not that interesting. And yes, people talk about her and dissect her all the time, but it's never in a good context the vast majority of the time. Broadly, the public opinion about her is negative. So yeah. So we have Godzilla, Man Strip. Good morning. Hello from Chicago. We have Heather. Good morning from Georgia. Red Squirrel. Hi from County Durham, England. Just getting a coffee, not mushroom stuff. Good Vibe said there's no way that idiot Harry can become king, right? Could Camilla be a regent if necessary? So this would be in the radical situation where not only do we lose Charles, we lose William and then George. When it comes to who would be regent, again, I think the government would decide that, and I doubt they would not go with Harry. He's left. I'm sure provisions could be made. That's why we have more counselors of state. I could see Anne rocking it, Edward, and of course, Catherine would be a huge influence there. But there's just no way Harry and Meghan would just have any role there. AJ has become a YouTube member. Thank you so much, AJ. And we also have Sounds Enlightening. Become a YouTube member. I kind of like that handle. Sounds enlightening. Do I sound enlightened? Phoebe says, Brittany, bring it on. Yay. So we have Compass Rose, one of our members. Hello from sunny Maine. And then Cindy. Good morning, all. Another member. Tanya from Ottawa. Ritz, the Duke and Duchess of Do Nothing, currently getting private jets and outfits ready. Yeah. They are the Duke and Duchess of Do Nothing. They are professional, useless people. They don't do anything. And they just seem to kind of just jump from thing to thing to thing. Again, like this whole thing, they can do what they want to do. They can be massively successful if they want to be, but it would require them to work, which is this thing they seemingly cannot do. They cannot work. So yeah, it is just Jedi Mom, Paramount and CBS are airing the game. Glad I canceled my cable. I catch all the commercials on YouTube. Don't have to worry about seeing them or Taylor, although I'd much rather see Taylor. I am going to a Super Bowl party tomorrow night. I really don't care about the Super Bowl. I've never cared about the Super Bowl. When I worked retail, I would tell them, yeah, you can schedule me for the Super Bowl. Let the other guys stay home. I'm perfectly fine working during the Super Bowl. I do not care. I worked at the library. I was actually, I think, working at a library once, and I missed the whole Janet Jackson thing. I was working at my local library. So I don't care about the Super Bowl or the commercials. But time to spend with friends and stuff is awesome. So that is what I will be doing. But definitely, if Meghan Markle comes on that screen, you guys will be better know right away. I will be tweeting about it. But I'm pretty sure, I'm just so positive she'll be there. Okay. Azuma, hi. And we also have over here Cindy. Oh, thank you so much for the super sticker this morning. Cindy, you are so kind. I do appreciate it so much. Hi, Azuma. And then we also have Becky, one of our members. I just cannot see Meghan sitting through a 3-hour game with Taylor and Brittany on the screen more than her. Yes. And again, it's weird because, you know, people will criticize going, well, you talk about Meghan all the time. And it's like, well, yeah, because it's just the car crash mentality. That's why people watch. But when it comes to like substance, it's like, I'm not a huge Taylor Swift fan, but can I recognize her excellence in her field? 110%. She has worked really, really hard to get where she is. Yes, I think she had some help from her parents and stuff like that, but she had to have an underlying talent to get where she is. And she did have to work hard. That just doesn't come out of nowhere. You have to be passionate about what you're doing and everything. I don't even know really what Meghan Markle's passionate about, except for designer duds. And that's not the worst thing. I like designer stuff too. It's fun. But Meghan needs more substance, and she doesn't have any. And this kind of fake hippy dippy like philanthropy she and Harry tried to do just again doesn't have any concrete foundation to it. I just don't even again know really what she cares about that much because it seems to change all the time. I know Catherine's passionate about children and being a parent. Why? Because she has early childhood and she's very passionate about being a parent and she's very involved with her kids and she parents them very well. And so you can just see that passion coming through. I just don't even really know what Meghan Markle cares about, which probably sounds odd, but it's 100% true. Terry has become a YouTube member as well. Hello. Good morning, Terry. Thank you so much. That's so exciting. Lucy says, hello from Las Vegas, Nevada. Do you wonder if the reports of Harry and Meghan going to the Super Bowl are actually true? When have they, either of them, expressed any interest in the game? Never. That's why, again, if Harry was like going to every NFL game and had like developed like a super big interest in the Chargers or something, I'd be like, okay, yeah, he can give away that award. That makes sense. But he has no broader interest in the game at all, as far as I'm aware. So I just don't understand why he's there. And again, I would just they're just going there to be seen. They're just going there because they need attention. Very much like Meghan going to those concerts, earlier in the fall and stuff like that. It's all attention seeking. It's all to be seen and heard and to be seen as movers and shakers. Again, without actually doing the thing that allows you to be a mover and shaker, which is to do work. I keep saying that like they need a real job. They don't have a job. Yeah. So we have Ruth. Good morning from Kalamazoo. And we have Pia and we have Red Squirrel and Sugar Cookie, one of our members, and Fire Elemental. Good morning. And then we have Tammy Smith. Good morning. And Lindsay Curry. Good afternoon, all from Scotland. Oh, Scotland. And we have another new member. Lots of members this morning. That's so exciting. Christy Music became a YouTube member as well. Good morning, Christy. Thank you so much. Okay, so, and we have Tammy Smith, and then we have Lindsay. I think I already said that. Asma and Brits. Meghan wants to watch herself on the Jumbotron. Oh, 110%. 110%. Becky, I heard that Princess Catherine's doing well and has went to Sandringham to Amner Hall. However, Prince Harry only spent a very short time with King Charles III. Yes, so Catherine and William apparently have moved back to Amner just for the half-term break. It also gives them time to spend with Charles. And again, that's great. Be family together after his cancer diagnosis. Like, I think in other situations, there's always been a narrative of work shy wills. And so sometimes I think he plays into that a bit too much, either intentionally or unintentionally. But given that his father was just diagnosed with cancer, Catherine's recovering, they had the kids on break, this is a good time to just be together as a family. It's 100% a good time to be there as a family. And so I think that's great. I look forward to seeing Will's back to work and of course Catherine at some point, but I really, really hope and just love the fact that they're getting to be together. Melody, good morning. Watching from Florida. Another great live stream. I hope so. Deborah, I understand that Harry got a ticket by being a presenter. Probably. I mean, again, does he care? He didn't go to any of the football games before, as far as we're aware. Like, if he was going to consistent football games, awesome. He found a new passion. Jedi says, Mom says that they sit in the Paramount's box. I think Netflix would cancel them now. Yeah, if they're really, really cozying up to Paramount, like they're done with Netflix. If I was Netflix, just from a pure business standpoint, I'd be going, what are you doing? Like, because Netflix just acquired the rights to like Monday Night Raw or something from the WWE. Like, if I was Netflix, I'd be going, okay, so you want to go to the Super Bowl? No, you can't do that. You get to go to the WWE. Isn't that awesome? And they'd probably go, but I'd be like going, well, you need to promote our product. We're paying you to promote our product. I would guess, man, it'd be interesting to know what exactly they got from Netflix, but I can't see them getting more than like 25 million from Netflix overall. Like, I'd be shocked if they got even 30 or 50 would seem outrageous to me because they haven't produced $50 million or even, let alone $100 million worth of content. 25, I think, is pushing it. Lady Jane, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Sugar Cookie, I heard that Harry and Meghan are supposed to be at the Super Bowl. Sans kids. Go figure. Yeah, no, never kids. And again, I know everybody goes, well, the kids don't exist. The kids don't exist. I understand there are those arguments. I disagree with those strongly. I just think Meghan Markle is we've seen, and I think there's a pretty strong indication, in my opinion, that she's a controlling narcissist. So she doesn't like having the kids in public because the kids might not perform exactly like she wants them to. I don't think Meghan's somebody comfortable with it when the kids go out of the bounds of what she wants them to do. They're probably also a little young for the Super Bowl, to be quite honest. I mean, if they were in the suite, I think they would be fine. But honestly, I just think Meghan just doesn't like the kids getting attention. I don't think she wants the kids to do anything she doesn't want them to do. So she wants them to perform a very, very specific way. And I'm sure she has a lot of nannies that help take care of them. It's never really struck me as somebody who's very maternal. And so that is just my personal opinions. And in Ohio, good morning, everyone. Becky, welcome, Nancy. And Melissa, good morning, everyone. FC Lucky would say, would love a book recommendation for those interested in learning to learn about history of the worldwide monarchies or just the British monarchies. Okay, the book I started and I wasn't able to finish it because Miss Pippa, my naughty little puppy, decided to pee on it. And I did get it again, but I haven't finished it. Is book on the Romanovs called The Romanovs. That's from Simon something. And so that was very good. I just didn't get to finish it because I ended up having to throw the book away, which hurt my heart. But again, Miss Pippa, as a puppy, thought it was fun to pee on it. I don't know why. I still don't know why she jumped on it was a hardback. Anyways, I did just get this one. I haven't started reading it yet. Unruly, the ridiculous history of England's kings and queens. This could be quite interesting. And then I got another one as well. Okay, I got this one in the UK, Kings and Queens from Ian Dale. So this one has different chapters written by different people on the different monarchs. And so I'm looking forward to that. And there's a series, and oh gosh, what is it called? Peter Ackroyd. There's a series by Peter Ackroyd, and it divides English history. And they're in different books. And so he goes through certain sections of English history. And I haven't read all of them, but I've read parts of them, and I find them to be very good and easy to read if you want. But I need to work on a recommendations list. I started reading The Traitor King. That has been pretty good, about Edward and Wallace after he abdicated. So I started reading that because of the comparison between Meghan and Wallace Simpson. And I was going to do a video of that on Monday. And then Charles' cancer diagnosis, blew all that out of the window. And I still haven't caught up to that. It's kind of funny though, too, because I literally was eating my lunch and my mom called me and she's like, did you hear? What do you think? And I was like, what do I think about what? She's like, did you hear? And I'm like, hear about what? She's like, Charles. I'm like, what? I Googled it. I was like, 20 minutes earlier, they had announced that Charles had cancer. I was like, I'm eating lunch. And of course, the biggest news breaks. Bonnie Jo, good readings from Southern Ohio. Becky says, wasn't Harry in the UK to win his case against Amir? He might have talked to his lawyers briefly. I imagine he did while he was there, but he essentially had to settle. So he'll get £300,000, and then his legal bills, which apparently cost upwards of like $2 million, the Mir will have to cover. And so it's just like, and I think William got a settlement of like $1 million or something out of it. And so I'm like, dude, like, did you really win any of this, Harry? Like, again, it seems all very, very ridiculous to me. Nancy, lawyer. Thank you so much for your tip. That is so sweet of you. And we also have Julie. Thank you so much for your super sticker this morning. That is so kind. And we also have Crystal. Is there any possibility they had a secret meeting the cameras didn't catch? Charles and Harry, no, because Charles, as soon as he left, like they saw Harry go in and then they saw Charles leave, because Charles leaves out the front and you see him go into Buckingham Palace, and then he immediately got on a helicopter and left. So we know for sure they did not meet any more than that. So we have Amber. Good morning here from NC. Hope everyone is well. It's been a busy time for us who are in the hands of Harry and Meghan. Yes, it has been. Diamond and Parks. Good morning, Katie. The only thing they care about is the place. Is that it is the place to be and they want to be seen. Yes, 100%. Where Sue says they are there to try and get major USA network to air Invictus. They just hired an old sports exec. Yes, it's been an interesting story too. And I'll like when Harry and Meghan go to Canada, I'll work on getting this whole video idea I have together. But I don't think the Invictus sells. I just don't think it does. And it's a nonprofit, and that's fine, but it should also be able to make its own money. I think the problem with the Invictus Games is that it's banking on a city funding basically the whole thing, and a city and government corporate sponsors to bankroll this whole thing, because it's not making any money in merchandise. It's not making any money in sales. How does this thing make money? And I get it. There's an interest with government entities to keep it going because it's a way to serve their troops. And I appreciate that. But at the same time, I think it's a program that is just not, it's just not sellable. I don't think anybody's watching. Like, my videos get so many more views. Even my lower performing videos, like the video I put up yesterday, would say it's on the lower performing end, performed better than anything pretty much on the Invictus Games 2023 thing. They're either not marketing it right, or there's the interest just isn't there. There just isn't a ton of interest there in watching it. And I think Harry needs to reevaluate what he considers for it, because I just think it's just cratering under the weight of itself. And I think it's completely and wholly unfair for it to be a propaganda tool for Harry and Meghan, yet force like countries and cities to fund the entire thing. Like, when you think about it, that's pretty egregious. Like, at least the Olympics, it's not there to promote one single person. It's a massive event. It brings people in from all over the world. There is obviously a massive interest in it. You know, tickets go for so much and stuff. And generally it doesn't always actually make money for the city. But the big thing is like, at least it's not there to promote one single person. Like, the Invictus Games now is a Harry and Meghan show, and apparently Birmingham is going to put in a bid to host the next one. And so Birmingham is going to fund basically the Harry and Meghan show. Like, that's just dumb. That's just dumb in my opinion. Julie became a YouTube member. Thank you so much, Julie. I do appreciate it. Okay. And we'll keep going here. Sorry, I've been a little stuffed up recently. I should have taken my allergy medicine. I forgot to. I've just been struggling. Lady Joan, love your top and its color. It's too well. Why, thank you. This is actually the shirt I got for the members who went to their Germany and Austria trip. And it says, never complain, never explain. So yeah, and it has a crown, a special one that I got that I thought looked like German crowns. So I'll do another one for Scotland as well. Probably do green, because I've done the navy that I have for my Recollections May Vary shirt. I've done red now for Germany and Austria because it matches the flags. And then I will probably do green for Scotland, because green just seems appropriate for Scotland. I have to look and see if they have green for the colors for these tops, because they're women's. I love them. I think they're great quality. I've like put them through the wash a billion times, and they go so well. Catherine says, looking lovely, Brittany. Hi, Miss Pippa. Catherine says, member for 4 months. Why, thank you. Yeah, Pippa is downstairs sleeping. Last time I saw, I was probably snoring a lot last night, not gonna lie, because I was so stuffed up. And so, I mean, I did take Benadryl, so hopefully it wasn't too bad, but she's probably like, oh, my mom's so noisy when I sleep. I need to go back to bed. YouTube user says, thank you so much for the tip. Do you think the grifters are snubbing Netflix and cozying up to Paramount because the president of Netflix dissed them during the Golden Globes? Yes and no. I don't think they're necessarily super happy about that, but here's the thing too. I just don't think as well Harry and Meghan are, I don't think they're in a good place with Netflix. I think Netflix has dissed a lot of their ideas, because I don't think they have good ideas. We've seen this from Spotify, like the same thing. Spotify got out early, which was smart. Spotify was like, yeah, we've seen the writing on the wall. Archetypes was overproduced. It took us so long to do. Meghan complained about every single episode, and she could not work with the people who are tasked with actually editing things. She would have to go to like the head of content all the time. And they're like, no, this ain't going to work. And so I think Netflix is finding out too, they're just not interested in the brand of Harry and Meghan, and Harry and Meghan just aren't performing. They're just not performing. There's just, I like, from a pure business standpoint, they just aren't there. They just aren't there. Like, we don't know the final numbers for Heart of Invictus. We'll get those probably sometime later this year. Because, oh gosh, I can't even remember when we got these. We got numbers for most of the Netflix series from like the beginning part of 2023. And I can't remember when that that launched. But that was helpful because everybody's wondering, well, how well did things perform? And so I'm looking forward to seeing how well the Heart of Invictus did. But I just don't think it did well. I just don't think it was that interesting, to be honest. And it could have been super interesting. Like, I think they should focus like solely on the Ukrainian team, or they should have focused solely on the struggle to get the games off the ground for 2022. But they focused on that. They focused on Harry. They focused on people who were not injured in combat. I'm like, how could you get like the whole point of the games is to help people with PTSD, and you couldn't find, people who actually were injured in actual combat. Not that those other people shouldn't compete, but I think it makes more sense to focus on, at least for the competitors for a documentary to sell this event, that you focus on people with incredible stories in terms of their time in Afghanistan and Iraq. That I think would resonate so much more than what Harry ended up doing. And it was, a bit too self-indulgent on him because it focused on him at the beginning and how, I started this, and I'm a dad and I have dogs and I live in Montecito. And I'm like, I don't care. So I think Netflix wasn't happy with, I think the thing, going back to your question again, I think Netflix was well aware of how poorly Harry and Meghan were performing, were reacting to that. And I think Meghan was mad, but I don't think she can complain either because they haven't done enough. Catherine gifted 5 Rail News Network memberships. So I thank you so much, Catherine. I hope some people are able to really enjoy that. All right. And we have asthma. None of the court cases were against Piers Morgan. Yeah. And I think that's the true hatred, is Piers Morgan for Harry. And I'm like, dude, you just need to either figure that out or, yeah. Okay. We have Marcel. Good morning, Brittany and everyone. We have Rebecca. Good morning, Brittany, fellow royal enthusiasts. Fire Elemental says, so ironic the persons suing the media and trying to support the media are the ones using the media for money and spewing hate and misinformation on a regular basis. Yeah, pot calling the kettle black. I love how Piers Morgan says, I am against Prince Harry divulging personal information about the royal family. I'm also against, because, Harry's also dished personal information about the royal family. Esma says, asking how you're doing. I'm okay. How are you? How's everything going? Oh, so great to hear people talk. Ritz says, for someone who hates the media, he seems to be in their face all the time now. Fool. Yeah. He just doesn't like the obviousness eludes Harry and Meghan. They are pretty oblivious. Kimberly says, I love to hear Piers Morgan roast Harry and Meghan like he does. Piers definitely has their number. Yeah. And I think Meghan feels personally slighted because she did talk to him. And so her personal diss of him and his now personal diss of her, like, rankles her completely. Did he sign a settlement on the same day he was in the UK? He might have. I'm not exactly sure. This is good. Phoebe Dinsmore, thank you so much for the tip. Tucker Carlson bagged Putin. Harry will be annoyed. Yes, that is good. That is good. Because Harry, apparently for his podcast, he wanted to talk to Vladimir Putin about his childhood trauma. Because, every dictator wants to talk about his childhood trauma. Because, that's how you become a dictator, is discussing your childhood trauma. Golly, just the delusions is just wild. It's wild. Sandra says hello there and everyone from dreary, the Netherlands. I hope it gets better. I think it's kind of dreary over there sometimes. It rained. We actually had a really good rainstorm when I was there, like pouring down rain in September in The Hague. And I was like, wow, I feel like I only get these on the East Coast where I live. Asma says, any news on the Home Office court case? No, we don't have any news on that one yet. We also have Blue Moon, and thank you so much for the tip. And 10 out of 10, I would guess. Why, thank you. Thank you. I really do appreciate it, because I got so many great messages this week. I saw of people who really appreciate that I take sort of I'm not going down more into the more radical thinking route of some people, and I keep everything kind of reacting to fact-based information and stuff. And so I really appreciate it. CK says many sites are having the same problem with people being unsubscribed. Yes, I've heard that as well. And it happens on Twitter too. I just don't know why. Rich says, a shout out to all who gift memberships. Thank you again. Yes. Campus Rose says, love Piers Morgan's response. Invading the privacy of the royal family is utterly reprehensible. And on that, I share Harry's opinion. I just wish he'd stop doing it. Yes. So good. So good. Marion says, good morning. Would you ever consider being a royal correspondent for news channels as opposed to being an independent as you are now? Yes, I'd love to be attached to a network at some point, because that would make it easier to cover things in the UK or on UK tours, because those are so inundated with interest from the press that you really have to be part of like the major networks. But overall, I would still want to have my independent arm. And what's interesting is actually Piers Morgan is moving his show Uncensored, moving it to YouTube so he can do like longer interviews. He's not contained to a time frame, and the content actually performs much better on YouTube when you have a global audience. So in a lot of ways, I really do appreciate YouTube. I think it's a great platform. X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. They're all great platforms to have people who are both independent and part of something greater. But what's really exciting though is because I'm smaller, even though I'm smaller, I can get press credentials for events in other monarchies, which I think is so great because they do need a bit more coverage. And so I can cover them from different ways. And I have something that I'm hoping again to launch next month that will hopefully kind of be in that vein and maybe make that a bit easier. We shall see. But I'm super excited about it. Again, I got to do a massive switch of the offices. Catherine says, good morning, Brittany. My chat was deleted. I'm so sorry. I don't know. I can't really delete chats. Like I can put people in timeouts. But I can't do anything else. Harry's new career is handing out awards and accepting awards. LOL. Yes. That his career. Asthma, rugby, and American football is totally different. Yeah, they're very. My understanding, somebody put on like Twitter, they said, yeah, like if Harry's joke doesn't really work because there's really not that much in common between football and rugby, and if he actually knew the game of football, he would know that. So again, somebody else wrote that for him. It wasn't that clever. Rebecca says, question, Brittany, Harry's recent visits to England and Jamaica, will this show the court that he doesn't need security, that Harry and Meghan are just looking for additional attention? Thank you. Yeah, I think if I was Revic, so this is the organization that Harry is essentially suing over his security, I would take all the warnings that are out right now for Jamaica and the warnings that were there before then and would go, this guy is willing to risk his own security to walk a red carpet for a movie. If he's willing to risk his own security for something as frivolous as a movie premiere, why in the world do we need to cover his security here? That's what I would do. Rich says, Harry has started to enjoy the attention more than she does, is just my opinion. I think he's enjoying it perhaps a little bit more, or like the same. But I think he definitely does enjoy the attention. D Development says, good morning, Brittany from NYC. It says the Super Bowl is on CBS. Yes. Harry enjoys sports, not so much Meghan. Yes. Asima says, I don't know anything about American football. Oh, goodness. Taylor Swifty will be in all the camera shots. Yes. I don't even know how I would describe football, really. I'm that pretty much clueless. Yeah, my poor father's probably like, oh, my daughter doesn't know football. Like I kind of know, like there's lines and there's a ball and there's field goals and they score a touchdown, and that's the basis of my knowledge. YouTube user became a YouTube member. Why, thank you. That is so exciting. Oh, goodness. So we have Olinda. Hello, Brittany, and everyone's greeting from Spain. CBS's suites for the Super Bowl are $1.8 million. Do you think Harry and Meghan paid? No. That's one way they're saving their money, is they're not paying for anything. They're making everybody else pay. Yes, it's weird. It's like anytime Harry gets a mic in the US, he puts down American sports ways and pumps up the UK. Harry doesn't bite the hand that feeding you kiddos. Oops, he's almost 40. Yeah. And he's not looking great either. Becky says CBS is showing, but Paramount is streaming it. Yes, because CBS and Paramount are owned by, I think Paramount owns CBS is, I think, how it works. Farrah Elemental says, yes, it's weird. It's like, oh, yeah. Okay, I already read that one. Kelly White said, yay, finally made a live. Hello, Brittany. I love your channel. You do such a great job reporting on the royals. God save the king. Yes. No way Jose says Meghan needs to play in suits and Harry needs to disappear. What an embarrassment. Yes. Scottish Heathen says, hello, everyone. I like that handle, Scottish Heathen. Tammy from Jacksonville. We have Renee from beautiful Petén in northern Guatemala. Hello. I've always really wanted to go to see the Mayan ruins in Guatemala and in Mexico. That's been definitely cool. Jenny says Meghan wouldn't pass up a Super Bowl appearance. No, it's a huge game. 100+ million people watch the Super Bowl. Like pretty much everybody in the United States watches the Super Bowl. Like they pretty much should just shut down stores for the Super Bowl, except for I guess if somebody needs to come in because they need like a court or something, that might be important. But yeah. It's Meghan like Reagan. I love that Harry cannot insult whoever is hosting them. Yep. It cannot help but insult. Yeah, he always seems to insult everyone. Liz, Harry is playing the pity card. My dad has cancer. Poor me. I mean, just think about it, though. His dad has cancer. The first thing he does is go to present an award for a sport he has no connection to whatsoever in a country he wasn't born in and has no connection to except for his wife. Come on now. That was really fast. I was wondering if I could get through that in one breath. Meghan's mask, rent a royal. Yes. Lila says, do you think they are trying to get the Invictus Games on Paramount Plus? They could be, but again, I don't think anybody cares. I just don't think that the interest is there. Because what you could do with a channel like mine is go, oh, look, she has this level of traction. How many thousands of people generally watch the videos? So if you put her on X, you may get those thousands of people moving over to this other platform to watch her here. Harry and Meghan with the Invictus Games, they don't even have that. They don't even have 1 million overall views for their for the Invictus Games on their channel. They have like 700,000 something. I don't know. I don't know what my overall views are in my, let's do lifetime real quick. Let's see what it says. I have 46 million views, 46, almost 47. So, and I mean, and granted, I produce more videos and I'm longer than them, but with the Harry and Meghan's profiles that they can't get the Invictus Games watched more, again, it's bad, but then, American Woman, good morning from stormy Middle Tennessee. We have Hoolie Dooley. Good day, everyone from Australia. I was really hoping to go to Australia this year, and I don't think Catherine and Willie were going to Australia. And I'm kind of sad because I wanted to go to Australia. Debbie says, happy Saturday, everyone. San Diego is seeing the sun today. Rain is gone. Oh, I love San Diego. AJ became a YouTube member. Thank you so much, AJ. That is so awesome. And I think that's the second I got 2 notifications. It's funny. Okay, so let's keep going. Hi, Brittany. Every time Harry does a speech, I want to ground to swallow me up because of embarrassment. How does he not see how embarrassing it is? He's like totally, completely clueless. Bless his heart. Bless his heart. That's all I gotta say. So in the United States, there's kind of a saying. It's mostly in this kind of the South, where you can say anything negative about someone, you just have to end it with "bless their heart." I learned that in I think Wyoming, of all places. But yeah, in the United States is a thing. You can say whatever you want about someone, but you just have to end with "bless their hearts." He doesn't know how embarrassing he is. Jojo says, why do U.S. organizations keep hiring Harry and Meghan? They are entitled celebrities. Because it does get them attention, and Harry and Meghan are willing to sell themselves for attention. Again, Harry and Meghan could do things like this, but they need to have substance to back it up. I think that's the problem. They need substance. Said that time and time again. I know that's kind of a weird thing, but it's true. Lizzie B says, gifted 1 Royal News Network membership. Thank you so much, Lizzie. I hope someone is able to really enjoy that. Katie says, news reports this morning says Catherine has joined William and the children at Sandringham for their school break. Yes, it sounds like that. And then they can also spend time with Charles, which I think is really good. Sugar Cookie says, not sure if Rachel understands that the NFL is pushing more Taylor than her. Yeah, 100%. They are more there's been a lot of people who thought that the NFL has facilitated the relationship between Taylor and what is his name? Casey or something, whatever his name is. Tracy. I don't remember what his name is. Anyways, because it gets more views for the NFL. Like literally the NFL viewership goes up because Taylor Swift is there. Meghan Markle does not have the same clout. She doesn't have the same fan base as Taylor Swift does. So recollections may vary. Says, I think Piers vendetta shows Meghan is the puppet master. Yeah, because she hates Piers Morgan. So Harry must hate Piers Morgan too. Oh, Kayla with hearts became a YouTube member. Thank you so much, Kayla. And we also have Mega Catcher says, I love that William wants to care for his wife, but it's not realistic for most people to financially do what he is doing. I think he needs to step up and take on more engagements. I think that's true. I think that's true. I think, again, the statement where he wasn't going to amend what he was doing, even with Charles out with cancer, I was like, that's not a good message to send because not everybody can do that. And I think, again, it plays into the work shy wills narrative, which has always been around. And, sometimes you do have to sacrifice time with family to help other family. That's kind of how sometimes life works. And it's definitely not realistic for most people to take off, weeks and weeks on end to take care of their spouse. I mean, there is some of that built in, but as well, that's not something everybody can do who's not financially able. So you just got to be careful to, again, it's all about walking the line, which I don't think sometimes the Kensington Palace team is always best at doing, is walking that careful balance. Like, it's kind of like William with the Women's World Cup. Well, he wasn't going because, he wanted to spend time with his family. It's like, but he's been spending his time with family for like the last 4 weeks. Surely he could go. But then they're like, well, the carbon footprint. I was like, okay. But then you also have to wonder, well, will he not do something else because of the carbon footprint? Again, it's making a clear message on a particular situation that makes sense within the realm. That's what they always have to be careful of doing. Melissa says Sussex squad are spreading around that he showed up drunk, dropped medals left and right. No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Butter Bug Baked Goods. Good morning, y'all, from Asheville, North Carolina. Do you have Butterbugs Baked Goods? Do you have a store? Ooh. I was watching a video last night of somebody decorating cupcakes, and I so wanted a cupcake. William is under so much stress. Bless him. He handles it well considering what's going on. Yeah. And if he's stressed, like that's totally understandable. But he definitely would not be. But William is very smart. He wouldn't show up to an event wasted or something. That's just no, golly. Blue Moon 75. Hi from Canada. I'm not happy they are coming to Canada. No. And that you're paying for it. You get to pay for it. Isn't that lovely? I mean, I don't know if I'm not saying like their personal costs and stuff, but just generally overall, you're paying for the Invictus Games to promote Harry and Meghan. Yeah. Sandra says, from the video I saw, it was clear God Save the King really got to him prior to giving out these words. Yes, I'm sure it did. Caxlar says, Prince William looked amazing at the gala. I noticed his hair is growing back. How is that possible? Well, I mean, if he got treatment and it grew back, good for him. Good for him. Honestly, seriously. I have no problem with people like trying to better themselves. Like if Harry got hair plugs and his hair filled out, great. That's fine. Do what you want. What I don't like is people lying about it. So there was some sort of video I saw of people talking about, well, how Meghan got a nose job. And she might have. She definitely might have. There's a lot of pressure in Hollywood. But, if she did or didn't, doesn't matter. What I will have an issue with is she ever comes out and goes, well, I didn't have a nose job, when she clearly had a nose job. Then I will have an issue. I don't like people lying. Say what you want. Say your truth. Mask your life and whatever. But don't lie to me and say that you didn't get a nose job when you clearly had a nose job. Kind of like Ashley Simpson going, I love my big nose, and then getting a nose job like immediately after the interview came out, like she was pictured with a new nose. Don't do that. That's just bad. Dia says, do you believe Princess Eugenie feels a sense of regret introducing Meghan to Harry now that she sees Meghan's nothing but a social climber? She might, and she might feel a bit duped too. I know everybody's like, well, Eugenie's so bad. I don't think she is. And, I think like the reels are somewhat attracted to the Hollywood crowd. But I just wonder too, she feels a little bit like she was taken advantage of, because I would feel that. I think I would definitely feel that. Joe Vickers says, press the like button. Yes, I always should say that, and I forget to. No way, Jose. Meg needs to leave this family alone. She has an evil aura. Some of us see through it. Evil. Yeah. I wouldn't go that far, but I just don't think she is as good a person as she wants the world to believe. Abua's Lifestyle says, good morning, Brittany, and all in the chat. I know I promise I'm not pronouncing it right every single time, and I don't know how to fix it. Fire Elemental, I have like just weird dyslexia a little bit. I don't pronounce things well. Fire Elemental says, everyone needs to say a prayer for William. A lot of worry and stress for him right now. Yes, 100%. 100%. We also have Alice with a tip. Thank you so much. I admire William, but I think he needs to begin to understand that he can't always be a family man first. It's not easy, but it's necessary. Yes, that is 100% yes. He can be a family man, but sometimes it feels like he's using his family as a shield from not doing things, and that is problematic. Again, it's all about messaging, and also there are times where you have to sacrifice. And that's not all the time. This is just going to be a period of time. And yes, it's not what his plan was, but there are things that interrupt all of our lives that we're not expecting. So sometimes you have to do that. And I think that's really, William really needs to, I think, kind of reorient himself a bit from that. He's because it works. I think the kids' situation worked much better when they were smaller. Now that they're older, it's like, he can't work because he's adjusting their schedule. It's like, yeah, but they are at school all day. So what are you doing on that? Again, questions that other people will ask, even people who support the monarchy, like I do, will ask, that will end up going in a bad way if you're not careful. Again, it's all about being the image you portray. Becky says, what in the world will Harry and Meghan do for Paramount? They don't have any skills other than bashing the royal family. Yeah, I mean, and it will pay for that, but that's just about it. Claire says the grifters owe Canadian taxpayers $640,000 for their security bill. They refused to pay for their 3-month stay on Vancouver Island, which was 2020. Yes, and now they want $30 million to put on the Invictus Games to promote themselves. Again, deeply, deeply problematic. That's why these games should not be this bubble of this one like it should not be so personality driven, because then it's like, is the government there to support the troops? Because all the news that gets out is about Harry and Meghan. That's all anybody hears about is Harry and Meghan. So who is really benefiting here? AJ from Norway, hello. Loretta says, I heard he did a phone call with PM, not a Zoom. That might be right. So I might have been mistaken, but I think he will be doing some Zooms and stuff as necessary. Allison says, I feel like King Charles and his team knew he had cancer, so they publicized his visit to the hospital with the prostate ordeal as a way to public know he had cancer. Well, my understanding, at least from the way they wrote the statement, is that they discovered it while they were doing that procedure. So it might have been something that they were aware of could happen and everything. But yeah, it made sense for him to leave publicly. And again, it also kind of shielded Catherine so she could leave privately a bit better. Okay. Fireman said, did you read somewhere where the royal residence had to undergo a ton of renovations due to Meghan's photos? No. They had to undergo renovations, especially Buckingham Palace, because of just age. Like, these buildings need a massive amount of upkeep. They're just hugely, hugely pricey buildings to upkeep, because you're talking about buildings that were built hundreds of years ago that did not have modern conveniences, where you must add modern conveniences, and it's hard. So yeah, no, I don't think that is it. Speaking like Reagan says, what a coincidence Salman happened around the same time as his visit with his father. Yeah, I'm sure they did kill two birds with one stone, but it was good for him to visit his dad. Loretta says, this is not the time to bring a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. The king doesn't need that kind of chaos. But he does. Like, it would encourage him to see his grandchildren. And I know, like, some people are talking about germs and stuff. I'm sure the Wales' kids are going to be spending time with them. Again, it's a good thing. And I think saying, well, there must be a better time. Well, the better time might be when, somebody's in a coffin or something. And then all of a sudden the time is good. Kind of like what happened with the Queen. So that doesn't always work. Karen Bear says, Harry and Eugenie were at the Super Bowl in LA in 2022. There was hardly any coverage because Meghan wasn't there. Oh, yeah, that's right. That is right. I forgot. I knew that that the Super Bowl had been out in LA recently, because they usually do it in warmer climates, usually on the West Coast too. So it's not too early or it's not too late. But yeah, okay, that makes sense now. Now I remember it. Yeah, there was hardly any coverage. Ella says, I think Meghan has poisoned him so much against his family. Hope it's not too late. Yeah, I hope so too. Patty Burrow, because if Harry wakes up at some point, He's going to have a massive world of regret. Hattie Burrow says that Meghan Markle has no Hollywood career. She does not. She had a minimal one, and she's trying to have one. It's not going well. Azima says, did you see British Vogue? Who is missing? Yes, Meghan is missing from British Vogue. It's like 40 of the most influential women from the editor or whatever. And some of them are like, well, like Lila Grace, who is the daughter of Kate Moss. I was like, well, she probably really doesn't need to be there. But Meghan definitely was not there. Jackie says, good morning from D South Texas here on the border. Hope you are well. Recollection made Meghan destroyed so much for Harry. He has no choice but to appease her. She is all he has, which was her intention. Yes, that is true. That plays into it as well. So, I mean, I think some of it's Harry and some of it's that he has nobody else anymore. She's taken away everything from him. And so he has to wholly rely on her. Nancy says, it really angers me that Harry's representing our country in our sports events and veterans, saying that only the monarch can stop this by ridding them of their titles, whereas our power here. Yeah, I mean, I think America, doesn't like it either. But it was like, it's just weird because it feels like we have no options. It's odd. And Jenny says, well, Meghan will have to compete with Taylor Swift, LOL. Yeah, and she'll lose. Is the Invictus Games next year like the last one? No. So they're supposed to be every other year. So technically the 2022 one was supposed to be in 2021. So the next one will be in 2025, apparently in Birmingham, maybe. But again, I just don't understand because I don't think this thing is, people aren't coming in from all over the world to watch this, except for family members and friends. Nobody is seemingly buying any merch. Meghan is not even promoting any merch. So, like, how are these games making any money? And they should make money. If they're not making any sort of money, then they need to end or be reformatted or something. Catherine Fallon says, my brother is fighting very rare, and he has good days and bad. Harry just wanted to make sure he still is in the will and placed in the line of succession. Yeah, I think so. And I hope your brother is doing well. We have cancer in my family, so that's something we're definitely very, very aware of. I think she booed if she showed her, I would guess, her face in the UK. Yeah, I think so. I think that's why Meghan avoids it. It's not because of the whole security thing. It's because she's afraid she'll get booed. Paramount Plus, it used to be called CBS All Access. Yeah, because they're all trying to streamline and, oh gosh, so many stuff. Jojo says the Super Bowl has a lot of things going on, especially since it's in Las Vegas. They need the revenue. Yes. Isn't William attending the BAFTA Award? Someone suggested he bring Prince George. I've also heard Princess Charlotte, but I don't know if he'll go this year. But yeah, he generally goes. Lizzie says recollections may vary. I knew right away when I saw her at the engagement interview, so many red flags. Yes, I actually knew it from square one. Once she posted the picture of the spooning bananas, I was like, oh, that's not going to work. Because she was obviously wanting to court attention, magnify the connection with her and Harry and stuff like that, and tease that he was there with her or whatever. Like, it was so suggestive. And I was like, oh, that's problematic because she's going, if they made it all the way, which obviously they have, she's going to be the wife of the spare. And you can't court attention when you're the wife of the spare. You just can't. And obviously that was it. It's Megan, like Reagan says, Paramount's big powerhouse property is actually Star Trek. Yes. Peggy says, support Brittany and her channel and get her by 150K by the end of the month. Yes, that would be awesome. I would be so excited. Good. Judith says, good morning from Reading, Tennessee. So sad Prince Harry used a trip to King Charles to deflect from African parks. Yes. And Carla says Taylor Swift is in Japan for her Eras tour, and so she's apparently flying back because she makes enough money to own her own private jets. She doesn't have to borrow one, or she doesn't have to beg somebody to give her a free flight. Amber Clark says, after Harry giving that Super Bowl award, I wonder if they have some type of Super Bowl commercial. Is that plausible? They might. What I thought would be really funny is that, if Harry somehow comes out and starts singing the national anthem of the United States, somehow sings God Save the Queen or something. That would be entertaining. And also very annoying. Kimberly says, yeah, that's ridiculous. We don't need to worry about Taylor Swift at the game. Yeah, I was kind of really hoping that the Chiefs didn't win because I was like, oh my gosh, it becomes all about Taylor Swift. Not that I even care about the Chiefs, but I was like, come on now. Rafaela, because I was really hoping the Detroit Lions made it to the Super Bowl for the first time ever. Rafaela says, good afternoon from Italy. Good afternoon. I wish I knew how to say good afternoon in Italiano. Italian. Italian. In other words, I love listening to other languages. Georgia says, in other words, the event he did was small. Yes. Sugar says, I hope the Dashley duo will be booed if they shown to prove who much the people don't like them. Yes. John Masood, oh, thank you so much, John. I hope you're doing well. Keep up the great work, Brittany. Why, thank you. Your support means so much. Azima says Tom Cruise makes up uneasy. Yes, Scientology. Yeah, he's on. Gunita says, question, do you think William will step it up with Charles out? I feel like they take a lot of time off. Most working parents can't take off all the holidays with their kids. Yes, again, bit of a problem with Catherine and William. And I hope they are able to sort of change it up soon. And but yeah, I think he's going to have to step up a lot. Carlene says, good day, Brittany. 2:10 a.m. here in Australia. Finally caught alive. Oh, man, I hope you're able to get back to sleep when you can. And so Vegas is 4 hours away from Los Angeles, but probably just 30 minutes away or 45 minutes away via a plane, which is what Harry and Meghan will probably take. You know, they'll probably beg to get on a private flight of some kind. Paul says NFL bosses are being called out that they invited Harry to present the NFL Walter Payton Man of the Year award to Cameron Hayward for season 2023. Yes, I just don't think it makes a ton of sense. MJ Clark says, good morning, Brittany and Miss Pippa. Do you think Prince Harry will ever realize he will never have in LA what he had with the monarchy? No. I think he's still living in the land of delusion. I think he's still living in the land of delusion. Kanita says, greetings from Ecuador. I love your insights. And you have a beautiful country, by the way. I have been to Ecuador. You often point out Meghan's awful fashion sense and this, but what would work for her body type? Goodness, people ask that, and I feel like I'm not qualified enough to make suggestions, but I think definitely she should avoid wide belts and wide pant legs. I just don't think they do her any favors because I think she looks swamped in them. She needs to figure out how to create a waistline, and I don't feel, again, qualified enough to really give her the best suggestions on that. Like, I think sometimes she sets it in the exact wrong place. I wonder if maybe like more of an empire waistline would work better on her, because it's just a tricky body type. She has a very square, short torso with no curves and long, thin limbs. And so it's just an odd body type. Like I'm kind of more hourglass / pear shaped. And so for me, it's pretty easy. It's get something that fits around my waist and kind of flares out from there. And I usually look pretty good. If I lose weight, I have more of an hourglass shape. If I have more weight on me, I'm more pear shaped. So that's kind of what I live with. But so I know how to dress my body type for the most part, but just don't know quite what works with Meghan. I feel like what they had her in suits, she looks so much better. And she looked better on the red carpets when she was more dressing herself. When she became a royal, it just felt like every single thing she wore just hit her the exact wrong way. Oh, and biggest thing for Meghan is she needs to dress like she is 5'5", like she is, and not like she's 5'11", which she is not. She wears some outfits that you really need a really tall frame to pull off. And she just doesn't have that. And I don't have that either. So I don't wear certain things that you need a tall frame to pull off because I can't pull them off. Melissa says, most working parents don't have the money and luxury to take time off. Let this family regroup and support each other without the public dissecting their every move and absence. Yes and no. But I do think it's good that if this is a good healing time with the family together at Sandringham, well, Charles, after his first treatment with Charles and Catherine and everything, I think that would be good. I do think that would be good. But after this point, William probably needs to hit the ground running. Swims with Whales says, why would Taylor Swift invite Meghan to her box? Taylor's worth $400 million. Meghan is a nobody. Yes. And Taylor doesn't need Meghan. Meghan needs Taylor. P Pacific says, am I the only one who thinks Meghan could pop up at the game day big commercial for Elf Cosmetics? Yeah, 100% she could. S. Keenly says, good morning from Tennessee. Harry has sunk to a whole new low. I heard he was only there for 10 minutes and he made his father wait for him. It wasn't a heartfelt move, very shallow. Yeah, I think it was, especially now that he's gone back and given away an NFL award. It's become really shallow because he could have canceled that and tried to spend more time with his dad, but no, must make money. Meghan will not be in Taylor Swift's box. This is from Anne. If Taylor has anything to say about it, she is in with William and Catherine camp. Yeah, because she knows where her bread is buttered. Asma says, has Eugenie gone to see King Charles? We don't know. I don't think so. And Beatrice, though, she does live in St. James's Palace, which is right next to Clarence House. And so we don't even know if Beatrice really visited Charles. She might have just been leaving her house. Travis Keeley, that's who the guy is. Travis is his first name. Julie tags as a puzzle me why all those Afro-American football players were not screaming at him about the African parts instead of fawning all over him. Great question. Great question. Claire says Greg Gutfeld has said King Charles has had cancer for 6 years. Gutfeld showed a picture of Meghan and said that King Charles cancer is 5'6", has dark hair, dark eyes, and weighs 120 pounds. That is good. That is good. That is good. Terry says, I think Harry came over to see the king so quickly because it was so noticeable how unaware and uncaring he was when the queen and her health started to decline. Yeah, that too. But again, it's just even a hollow effort. Lizzie B says the old Hollywood system was very rigid. They used to hold actors and actresses do various films and couldn't work with any other production company unless the bigwigs would give them permission. Yes, but it is interesting now too that sometimes people sign exclusive deals with certain companies. I do find that interesting. As Keely says, love this YouTube channel. Why, thank you. Kelly says, just became a member. You did. Britt, you rock, cat lady. Why, thank you. Butterbugs Baked Good says, could George be king at his young age? He would technically be king, but somebody else would be regent. Melissa says, thank you, Christine. They may be RF, but I promise the country won't fall apart if they take some time behind the scenes for themselves, especially after this last month and have health scares. Yes and no, but he can't take too much time off. Again, take some time, but not too much. Sue says, will Meghan take backwards shots of Super Bowl parking lot? Probably. Yeah, regency for George would be set up when the queen was sick. Regents would be Catherine, Anne, and Edward. Yeah. Jen! Exclamation point. Thank you so much for the tip this morning and for being a member. And Luna says, I became a YouTube member as well. Why, thank you so much, Luna. That's so exciting. And as regent tempore until William's kids are older. Yes, I think Anne would be perfect for... Margot says, I love your show. Please slow down speaking. I'm from the South. Yes, I mean, I wish I could, but I'm trying to talk faster just so I can get through the comments because I'm like an hour behind in the comments, which I'm sure probably you were like, wait, I commented that forever ago because I like to say hi to people and everything. And oh, goodness. Kath says, is Harry still working for BetterHelp and Travelist? I wish I could bunk off work to go Vegas. Have a great day. I think so, but I don't even know what Travelist does. And BetterUp is, I think, not doing super well. But the concept to me of BetterUp was always never a great concept. Eugenie would not be a counselor of state until Charles passed away. And if Charles passed away and George was a minor, she would technically become a counselor of state. So she's been frequently scowling at Catherine, very unkind. Saving grace would be if she did a feature on her podcast about the exploitation of the Baca. Yes, but I don't think actually, I mean, you can take a picture totally out of context. And so sometimes too, it might have been something else. So I don't want to read too much into it. Kelly says, very best time to go to Walmart is during the Super Bowl. No crowd. I'm sure that is true. Does Travelist still exist? As far as I'm aware, it does. It does. Question, do you think Meghan is freaked out that she is not one of the women on the cover of British Vogue? Probably, because, you know, the whole world should revolve around Meghan Markle. What did you think about Miley Cyrus' performance at the Grammys? It was on at the gym, so I couldn't hear it. I think I caught part of it later. Did think it was odd when she told the whole audience, well, you know it, sing along. If they weren't singing along, and if they weren't singing along, it means they didn't know it. So Claire says, Taylor has an amazing singing voice and excellent songwriter. Her singing voice is okay. But when it comes to songwriter, yeah, she is very good. She's very good. Recollections Make Very said, when was the last time her kids were seen? We got some pictures of them in Costa Rica. That was the last time. But again, we don't ever see, again, If Harry and Meghan want to keep their kids private, that's fine. But then they should not be bringing them up in conversations all the time and talking about their parenting, because I never see them parent. So I can't even think of them as parents because I never see them with their children. When you don't see that, it's really hard to think of them as parents. And then it makes their campaign for things just ring a little bit more hollow. Oh, Becky says, "Oh, Terry from Dallas, so hard to watch Super Bowl with no Cowboys." Yes, no Cowboys this year. Just the Chiefs and the 49ers. Tori Myers, Taylor Swift wouldn't allow Meghan near her. She is a fan of the Prince and Princess of Wales. Yes, and she's also well aware of where power actually is, and it's not with Harry and Meghan. Akita Lover says, "Hi from CK, Connecticut." Harry said, "We saw rugby. Love to see Harry try to actually throw a football correctly." Yes, 100% yes. Don't think he knows the game. Angie says, "I think Meghan wants to be seen as a socialite and feels entitled to being married to Harry." Yes. But the problem is they need to make money, because he had some money, but they live a billionaire's lifestyle and a millionaire's salary. So, do you have a kiss cam? I'm not sure if they have one for the Super Bowl, to be quite honest. Jenna says, if Meghan was a better actor, she would have done indie films and perfected her craft. Yes, she would want to do that. Sylvia says, what happened to Neil Simon? I do not know. I do not know. Let's see. Oh yeah, and art and photography, Kevin loves artistic part of life. Yes, we know she enjoys that as well, 100%. Didn't Harry go to the Super Bowl with Princess Eugenie? I can't remember. Yes, he did, and just didn't barely hit the radar. So yes, Brittany, I saw that Catherine was leaving Windsor for Sandringham yesterday. Yes, apparently she did. Hopefully she had a pretty comfortable trip. I guess it depends on if they flew or drove. Trina says, "Hi, Katrina. Good morning, Brittany. I wonder how the football audience felt about the talk of rugby. I'd love to know." It seemed like some of the guys were kind of uncomfortable going, okay. Because it's like, well, this is the game we play, and you're like getting up here to give an award to one of our players and mocking our sport. Like, it's just not cool. It's just not cool at all. So let's see. Jenny says, "Work shy Will, can we stop with the narrative? The difference between the Waleses and other working worlds is that they don't have young kids tend to. Harry and Catherine work, William and Catherine work plenty. Just stop." Compared to some of their contemporaries who have children as young as theirs are, they work more. Catherine and William generally work less. That's just pretty objective. I don't think necessarily saying, well, they have young kids really justifies it as much as it did when they were like kids spending most of the time at home. Now they're in school most of the day. So again, that the argument doesn't hold quite as much. So I've been watching Royals for a long time, and I've heard that narrative go again and again. And so it's been around for a long, long time. So the only way to get past a narrative like that is to just work past it. Patty, hi Brittany. I was starting to watch Rent a Royal and I remembered live. LOL, we'll return to it after the stream. Gorgeous weather here in New Hampshire. Well, I'm so glad. I hope you enjoy it. I felt like later I was like, oh, I should have done maybe a bit something a bit different or a bit better. So Tori Meyer says, be prepared for an ugly outfit. Meghan won't be seen wearing anything casual. It would be inappropriate and overdressed. She tends to overdress. Jenny says, reading the Trader King, similarities between Windsor's and Harmless are crazy. Yeah, it is. I see them and I don't see them at the same time. I see some interesting connections and some interesting differences. And I want to do a whole video on that, and I will get there at some point. Sounds Enlightening says, hi Brittany, and Miss Pip by Harry went to the Super Bowl in 2022 with Eugenie, so he's dragging his wife with him this time. Yeah, because she drags him to concerts he doesn't seem to want to go to. I watched the documentary, The Trader King, and thought Prince Harry is a replica of the Duke of Windsor. They have the same weakness and personalities. Yes, they do have definitely the same weaknesses for strong women. Not in a good way, in a bad way. Fire Elemental says there are no kids of Harry born of Meghan's body. She would have definitely posed for a provocative picture if she had the true baby bump in her body. I don't think so. Again, that wouldn't have been appropriate. But again, I don't think Meghan was a pretty pregnant. So I don't think she'd really want to even highlight it because I don't think she was a pretty pregnant. Susan Horan says, why do you think the media is so invested in this false narrative that the family wants to mend fences with Harry? I don't know, because it's like, I feel like this should be so stinking obvious. Why would they? Like they do and they don't. I think what they hear is that there is a desire, but they can't do it with Meghan in the picture. They just can't. Yes, Deborah says Earthshot Prize announced for 2024 in Cape Town, South Africa. Yes, it'll be this fall. Oh gosh, I enjoyed covering the Invictus Games, or not the Invictus Games, sorry, Earthshot Prize before. And here's the difference between the Earthshot Prize and the Invictus Games, which I think is important, is that Earthshot Prize is not really asking cities anything for hosting them. They seem to have enough money to be able to fund their event, and their event is not something where it requires multiple avenues and a huge amount of people to put on like the Invictus Games does. So the Earthshot Prize is more self-contained, so it can move to different places and utilize its resources well. And yes, there will be South African expenditures made to probably cover Catherine and William as they go and make different engagements and stuff like that. Because if they both go, I'm sure they'll be doing, visiting different people and doing actually maybe a little bit of a royal tour or something like that. But it's very different than the Invictus Games. And that's why I think Earthshot Prize is so much more better in some ways than Invictus Games. So Christy says, hi, Brittany. Unruly is good. The artwork inside the cover is lovely. When the announcement about King Charles came out, I said Harry would use it as a way to get press attention for himself. I was right. Yes, now you make me want to see. Oh, I don't. Ooh. Oh, no, that's just maps. But I like maps. Maps are good, guys. Maps are good. But yeah, I'm excited. It looks good. So I need to get to it. The Invictus Sugar Cookie says the Invictus Games are a niche market. Unfortunately, yes, they do not have a broad appeal. Rich says, I'm shocked about how the Invictus Games has done nothing to change the way their event is carried out and have allowed these two to hijack the event. Yes. Tori says, I don't know about any of you, but I'm wondering why the child hasn't child services gone to take Harry's kids. Harry and Meghan are terrible parents. They don't know how to parent. I wouldn't go that far. Again, we don't really know what's going on behind the scenes. But again, I think there are more selfish reasons than Harry and Meghan are stating of why they don't show the kids. And I think, again, yeah, lots of issues. Did Canada actually say Meghan is not coming? No, I think she is coming. Asma says Birmingham cannot afford. We just did the Commonwealth Games. Yeah, and again, like to me, it's a way. Like the Invictus Games should be able to bring something to the table. If it can't, the games shouldn't go on. If the Invictus Games Foundation or whatever can't fund half of the games, at least they have no business being in operation. They don't. They should not be forcing an entire city to fund them. American Woman, yikes, it is thundering so loud right now. Oh no. It's Megan like Reagan says the crowds are considerably thinner at the Invictus Games last year than in previous years. Yes, I think the Invictus Games, I think the peak was probably 2016. I went to the 2016 games and it was great because it was in Orlando and it was in the ESPN Worldwide Sports Center. So people could go to the parks, they could go to the games, the like different things. Since they started moving it around, I just don't think it's that good. And again, I don't think there's a huge support for him. Rich says the color to you're wearing today is so pretty, Brittany. Great color on you. Why, thank you. People keep saying red is a great color for me. And I wouldn't normally think that, which is kind of funny. I don't normally think that, but it looks great in the screen, I guess. Kylar says, I thought Birmingham Council recently filed for bankruptcy. They might have, but they're still going to pay for it. I don't know why. Because again, I just don't think anybody is coming to these games. Lady Jones said, so Earthshot Prize is going to Cape Town next year. How cool. South Africa holds a special place in both Catherine and William's hearts. Yes. Trina says, the stories in Canada heard the government said no to several things Harry and Meghan, such as the top luxury suite in the Best Whistler Hotel, helicopters. Hey, not on my dime as a Canadian. No, and it shouldn't be on your dime. It should not be on anybody's dime to fund these games, except for the Invictus Games itself. That's my issue with this whole thing. They must be self-contained. If they're not, then it needs to go away. Yeah. That's just My personal opinion. Mary Ruth says Scotland flag, blue and white. That is true, but I think of Scotland and I think green. So I might have to go with green. Rich says, I won't give my Netflix my membership back until they cut out the grifters. Yeah, might be. I actually did. I was using my dad's for a long time, and then they finally cut me off. I'm like, darn. Not my dad, but Netflix itself. I'm like, darn. So I might have to get my own, just because there are things to watch, to keep track on, to comment on. Julie says, do you think Harry's flying visit to see the king was to gather content for their unscripted show that Netflix announced was in the pipeline? It could be. I just think that was a lot of smoke that Netflix was pushing about Harry and Meghan. Yeah. Anne says Harry and Meghan do the same old routine over and over. Yes. And it's just not working. It's just not working. Sandra says Neil Sean has had the interesting theory that Netflix said there's a lot of stuff in the works when there isn't, just to put pressure on Harry and Meghan. Sounds plausible. I mean, it does. I think there's some things that they've talked about, but I think the key phrase was very early development. Yeah. Good morning, Brittany. I was your post on Invictus Games last night. We'll be going back to the UK. Yes, apparently to Birmingham. Maybe they're pitching. I don't know if anybody else is pitching or not. I don't know why anybody would. It doesn't make, I don't think the city's any money. DP says Universal Studios can sign them up as brand ambassadors. Sounds better than Rent a Royal, and ship them off to red carpets just to garner attention for their projects. Yeah. That's about it. Andrea says, do you think Harry is actually afraid of the paparazzi and that he thinks his security is needed to protect them from danger? Hello from Oklahoma. Yes. I think Harry does live in the land of delusion. And I think he's also aware of Meghan's scheme sometimes to call the paparazzi on them. And I don't know about the whole New York situation. That one was so weird because he did look genuinely traumatized. Like, I will say that. But at the same time, it's like the security thing makes no sense. Like, what are you guys doing? And it was so over the top, their statement, that it just didn't work. So it'll be interesting to see. But I think he does feel the danger, and he doesn't understand the difference between reports from professionals and kind of gutter, you could say gutter journalism. Reports from professionals that say, let's say, that allege you're bullying staff members, that's not a danger to you. That's something you need to sue over or get all huffy about, because, well, you probably did that thing that they're talking about. So you kind of have to live with that thing you did that they're talking about. And so Harry, I think, just has to recognize the fact that he and Meghan just, I mean, generally, number one, aren't popular, but B, they've created this situation where they can't be popular. And so, and they will get negative press about them, but they lump everything into danger when it really is just, a lot of it's good journalism and some of it's just not. But most of the time, the paparazzi culture that existed when Princess Diana died, which I think is what Harry is afraid of, is not the same as it was even in the 2000s. Like, most of that has gone away. Why? Because of social media. Social media has eliminated a lot of the need. Most of them go where they're called. So yeah. Fire Elemental says, is your cup from the one of the Whittards? I bought one for hubby for Christmas and he loves it. So actually, no, this one is actually, it says Brittany on it. It actually has Winnie the Pooh. I think my aunt got this for me. So it's from Disneyland. So it says Winnie the Pooh. Has my name etched on it. I couldn't put that in the microwave, so I just had, it's warm this morning here, so I just had chocolate milk instead. I think it's called Promised Land milk. It's like the best milk. It's so good. Tori Meyer says, I'm 100% sure Meghan will do something against Taylor Swift. The Swifties will go against Meghan. Yeah, I don't think that would be really smart from Meghan. I mean, she might let that happen, something like that happen. But yeah. Oh my goodness, guys. I'm so excited because I have this thing I'm thinking about, and I'm thinking about how to reorganize my other office. And I just had like this great idea. And I'm just very excited. Missy Lulu says, yes, let's talk about Netflix laughing at Harry. Has anyone pointed out to him the interview with Vladimir Putin is Tucker Carlson style, not asking him his memories of sleeping in a cradle? Yeah, no. Wouldn't Harry be a hostage if he met Putin? Maybe. You'd have to be careful. The Tucker Putin interview talked history and heard about Catherine the Great. Pretty cool history. Yeah, I mean, obviously I would take some of his history with a grain of salt because he's very much in the rewriting to elevate the Soviet Union. But I think at the same time, that's what Putin wants to talk about. He doesn't want to talk about his childhood trauma. He does not want to talk about that. And he's a dictator. They don't want to reveal weaknesses. That is kind of their thing. So, and what's interesting too, because there was another, with with Piers moving to YouTube and everything. What's interesting as well is that Tucker Carlson, I think, he probably had a couple million viewers per night on Fox News. And his interview with Vladimir Putin, though, got like 140 some odd million views, which is crazy. And so what I just think is really interesting, and I know this is probably off topic, is just the decentralization of media overall is just fascinating. Which is helpful to me because, guys, I would not be where I am if I could not. So it's at 178 million views now on YouTube, 944,000 likes. So this is Tucker Carlson. I just bring this up because the reason I'm able to operate, which is really cool, is because I've gone independent and I've grown my own voice, which would not have happened. Like, I could not have gotten a job as a royal reporter because those jobs just simply don't exist. And so that I've been able to do this is really just very exciting because I've been able to utilize what I think, what I enjoy and stuff, and make a career out of it. And the royal reporter community is very small. So without independent creators, like there's no way to break in, really. Siva says, do you think Harry's behavior is like Henry VIII? I wouldn't say no. I can't really totally think, but Henry VIII was obviously very different in ways because, number one, he was king. King. So that makes a huge difference in the power you think you have. And Harry, I think, thinks he's somebody like Henry VIII, but he's not. And I think his ego was pushed up by people who thought in some ways he was better than William and more affable and stuff. And yeah, so he got very inflated in his ego. Ashley Claire says, thank you so much for the tip as well. Do you think they will mend the fences if Harry and Meghan divorce? I think there's a better chance of that happening. I just don't know if it will. Karen says, does King Charles have any involvement with Invictus? Did he and William start with it? Harry, if so, they can, or the charity fire Harry. They wouldn't come back to it. They have no involvement in it any longer. Although reportedly, they're still real big supporters of Invictus. I mean, they're supporters of the troops, but beyond that, I just don't think that much. Kimberly says, I'm going to upgrade my membership next month too. Oh, that's so exciting. That's so exciting. Okay. Let's see. We got something down here. Sheridan asks, hey, Brittany, love your show. What do you think will be Harry and Meghan's next move to try to lift their profile trip to UK, Netflix? I mean, they're going to Vancouver next week for the Invictus Games, the 1-year anniversary and lead up to the Invictus Games. So they'll be doing that. They may do another trip. I mean, because obviously going to Jamaica to raise their profile to go to the movie premiere was just odd, but we'll see more desperate attempts like this as things continue to decline. So it'll be a bit wild. Good Vibe says, when will they be stripped of the titles? When? It's overdue. So Lilibet isn't even a UK citizen. It wasn't a red carpet. It was a dirty theater. Yeah. So it, we don't know. Simple answer. Lilibet's probably a UK citizen, though. She can be born in the United States, and then you can go. There is a British consulate in Los Angeles because I've actually been to it, and you can go in there and you can get. She could get a UK passport and citizenship as well. Brittany, do you think King Charles will announce what type of cancer he's battling to bring awareness to that type of cancer? He seems to be transparent about his health issues. Like, I hope so. I don't like the speculation around it, but the only thing that worries me is I wonder if they're not saying it because the prognosis for that particular cancer generally isn't good. And they don't want people going down that route too much. That's kind of where I'm leaning towards. Like, they still caught it early, but still might be a fairly aggressive form of cancer. And so they're like, well, better not have people already going, oh, William's going to be king. William's going to be king. We must change things. I don't think he wants people to go down that route. And I mean, that's totally my opinion. I do not actually know. So Jerry Mom says, I think Harry enjoys himself more when Meghan is around. His smile and personality just seems more genuine and not so forced. Yes, 100%. Jen says, did you see the pics of Meg driving? Looked like she could barely see over the wheel. Yes, I posted that. I was like, looks like she stole the car from her parents and can't see over the steering wheel. And somebody mentioned too that her limbs are so long and her feet are and her torso so short. And she probably does seem to be a bit like that. But at the same time, it just seems super odd. And like literally, she put the bodyguard in the back and she just drove around the block to get the pictures. And then he went back in and started driving again. Bearcat says, question, Brittany, do you know how many members there are on your channel? I know there are over 400 because it sent me a little notice, but that is the extent of my knowledge, which is amazing, which is totally amazing. I'm always just so shocked and blessed. Sherry says, have you watched the Puppy Bowl? I have not, but I should. My sister's dog, sees other dogs on the screen, and I bet you she would go nuts for the Puppy Bowl. But yeah, my dog, she's not puppy, she's a dog. But she looks like a puppy. She cannot see the screen, so that would mean nothing to her. She may hear them, but I don't think she would really react. TJM-MXM. Good morning from Colorado. Thank you, Brittany, for all the great information. Best wishes. Why, thank you. Good morning from California, 1900 plus watching this live. Yes. So who's hosting this Harry and Meghan at the Super Bowl? Don't know if it's Paramount. Ken, very interesting what this means for Netflix. Go Chiefs here in Casey. My kids had a late start to school on Monday because of the Chiefs being in the Super Bowl. That's awesome. That is awesome. Invictus hired a TV executive as CEO for the Canada Games. Yes. Sandra says, in short, don't rely on YouTube for your business model for 100%. No, like you need to diversify, but I think it's a good platform as well to get to a broad audience. But I have other things I'm working towards, trying to put more of my videos on Facebook. So yeah. August Blue says Harry can't help Invictus because he can't imagine anything. He can only plug on what was set up for him. He can't adjust and adapt to change. He has no ideas of his own. Yes, 100%. 100%. Brittany, will you watch the Bob Marley movie? I won't because of Meghan and Harry showing up. Honestly, I just don't really care that much about Bob Marley, to be quite honest. His music doesn't really do anything for me. I'm sure I've heard it. I don't remember an actual song. So yeah. Sarah says, good morning, Brittany. Do you respond to emails? I may be slow responding to emails, but I do try to respond to them. I'm not great at it though, to be quite honest. I need people to help me do, because I put stuff off and I'm like, oh, I'll get to this. And then I don't get to this. Born Again and Baron says, Brittany, have you done an Ireland trip with subscribers? I'd like to visit Ireland or Scotland in 2025. I have not done Ireland just because I like to make sure the trips go to like castles and stuff and have a good, strong history component. And I try to go to places where there are royals because I feel like that fits my channel. So I want to go to the south of France, maybe this year, and then really, really hoping to do one of the Christmas market tours of Germany and Austria. I still loved my Germany and Austria trip too, but yeah, we'll see. I'm so excited. Kayla says, love this channel. Cancel Harry and Meghan. Yes. Although, I mean, they are entertaining. They become a form of entertainment. Abdullah says, when your spouse has major surgery, they become number one priority in your life for the next couple of weeks, period. Doesn't matter who you are. Yes, but not everybody has the luxury of being able to stay at home. They may be able to take some vacation time, but sometimes people can't. They just can't. So I do recognize that not everybody can do those kind of things. Nina says, I feel like William is the type of person who looks at these hard moments in life as a challenge. It may not be easy, but he'll never let the public see him sweat. Yes. Yes. Sylvia, kisses from Paraguay. As time goes by, they become more and more fourth-rate royals. Tom Cruise was overshadowed by Prince William. The Sussexes are chasing stars. Yeah. Yes. 100%. They are chasing stars. It's just, yeah, it's just crazy. It's just really, really crazy. The Sidley twins left the guy who gave the award to about African Parks. See recent YouTube video, 10 minutes and 44 for Twitter hashtags for African Parks abuse. Yes, it just doesn't. That story just got buried. Sorry. World Cup. Stephanie says World Cup in Realm also meant high cost of security for the Realm just to visit for the game. Also, England knocked him out the team. Not a good look for Princess to support one realm over the other. Yeah, but it was the final and it was England. So I think that's kind of pretty important. So, and the Queen of Spain did go. So again, if it was the semifinals, no, but the finals it was probably a good idea. Partly Cloudy says, yes, William will always say family comes first. So the decision is to not be pressured by people who have no clue what's going on. Yes, but again, different situations. Obviously, he does have a very public role in life. So it's just, again, that careful balance. Remember that Meghan took Eugenie's wedding day, tried to take her tiara, and lastly announced her pregnancy at her wedding. Yeah, I see she's mad. It's just a year end. Yeah, I think they're friendly, but maybe not as friendly as they were. Steffi says, credible sources says the king told William to prioritize his family, raising the next generations of royals and international. Yeah, I mean, not that he shouldn't be the dad, but just saying that also sometimes too, you have to sometimes make sacrifices. Missy Lou says, thank you, Lizzie. And that's a good lesson too for kids to learn as well, that sometimes you have to make different priorities in different situations. You can't always do it, what you want to do or what you think is important. You have to sometimes do other things. Thank you, Lizzie, for the membership gift. I've been watching Brittany since she started the channel. Aw, that's so awesome. And Selena says the thing about Meghan got a nose job is that it's changed her features to make her look more white. I mean, that's entirely possible. And again, don't have issues with her having any work done that she's had. If she starts lying about it, again, totally different ballgame. Kath at Wells became a YouTube member. Thank you so much, Kath. All right, let's keep going here. All right. So Jane Buxton Van says, you can tell that Catherine and William have a lot of input into their children's lives based on how her health crisis and the image have affected them. Yes. Kids Relevant says, I think the Invictus should be shut down at this point. I don't agree with that. I mean, I just think they should get rid of Harry and Meghan and figure out different leaders or something. Or it's just become too much. The games have become too much a cult of personality. And that's challenging. Lizzie says, you are welcome, Missy. Hope you enjoy it. It's 30 days. You can watch Miss Brittany's extra content. Yay! Luana says, hi from Brazil. Do you think Charles will be good for Trooping the Color? I don't know, because I was planning on going to the Trooping the Color, and then I was going to go before to hopefully cover the wedding of the Duke of Westminster, because, obviously Catherine and William would be there, and their kids probably would be there too, being, Bar Girls and Brides. But I just don't know now. I just don't know. I just do not know. So, Paul says the Invictus Games is losing substantial amount of money, is now relying on a $30 million pledge of tax money. This is being called by the Canadian taxpayers a misuse of such tax funds. Yes, because it just won't benefit them. That's the issue. It needs to benefit them, and I just don't think it will. Desert Mermaid says, hi, Brittany. So happy to join your channel. Yay. And Ms. MC Kenna says, do you think the resurgence of Suits on Netflix is a product of Meghan Markle's publicity push? No, I think it just was kind of a fluke, if you could say, like a once in a lifetime shot. It was a show that had already been completed that you could binge fully on Netflix when everything else was shut down. There were no new shows coming out really. And most of what Hollywood has produced is bad. And so it just fit in that exact right moment for that exact right time for people to be really excited about it. So Philippa has a question. Do you see any tiaras where gold yellow is a base? I've only seen bases made of silvery colors. There's a gold tiara in Norway, and the amethyst necklace tiara, which I did for Norway as well. Some of its elements are gold. Because you can see it. And the Napoleonic amethysts, the amethysts are set in gold. I think the rest of the tiara is white gold, but the amethysts are set in gold. The cameo tiara is called red gold, not really even rose gold, but called red gold. And there's some other tiaras where some of the jewelry things are set in gold. But yes, bases and stuff in gold are pretty rare. I think it's because the color, I think, is not maybe as flattering on hair as others. I don't know. So we shall see. Okay. Asma says everything goes back to the crown. Yes. At the end of the day, anything that Meghan was loaned from the crown will go back to the crown. But she wasn't loaned anything from the crown. Becky says King William will one day have an exciting, awesome reign. Yes. Kid Relevance, what do you think will ultimately happen to Invictus? I think it'll collapse, in my opinion. I think at some point it just won't go anywhere, but it's just hard to know. But again, I think, or maybe they just won't find a city to host because it's gotten around that you don't make any money off of it. And so, because again, the point of Invictus is to make, like, I mean, it's a charity, yes, but the charity should also make money. And if it's not making money, or if it's not generating any publicity for any of the corporate sponsors who are putting it on, because the games themselves cannot, then that's a problem. Like, the games should be able to put themselves on, or at least fund a good chunk of it. If they can't, then again, that's a huge, huge problem. So Meza says it's 3 a.m. in Australia and I had to get up 6 a.m. for work. I can't sleep. Oh no, I hope you get to bed soon. I do. Because sleep is so important. Duchess Banana Bread says Beebs Kelly talks about Meghan's fashion and the way she could better dress her body. Yes, I don't feel like I can say that, but Brittany, don't tell me you're drinking Clever Blends. No, definitely not. It's called like Promised Land chocolate milk. It's the best. They make the best milk. Even their milk I had at one time, because I think I got it from Whole Foods or something, was excellent. It was so good. Great milk. Rachel needs to start dressing her with clothes that fit her, made for a petite body, not someone who is 5'11". Yes, that horrifically ugly red dress was meant for a woman who's 5'11", because she could pull off all the stuff. Meghan could not. That dress was so horrible. So horrible. Horribly, horribly ugly. Okay. Let's see. Sugar Cookie says U.S. media hasn't really reported on the African park situation, so a great deal of people don't know about it. Yes. And they tried to get word out there because the parks weren't moving and it just wasn't going anywhere. Jessica Chapa says, "Hi, Brittany. If Prince William becomes king and Catherine queen, what would Queen Camilla be called? She'd be still called queen. I don't think she'd be called like princess or something. She'd still be queen, but she'd be like the dowager queen. She wouldn't be the Queen Mother. I know a lot of people ask that. No, because the Queen Mother was a specific title for Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, because she was also Queen Elizabeth. So how do you distinguish between Queen Elizabeth and Queen Elizabeth? You call one of them the Queen Mother. So that was just kind of a unique situation. Okay. Trisha, we all need to help Brittany with that winter sponsorship. What are you drinking today? Again, yeah, not drinking winter today, but I do have I got it and I just didn't like it at first, which was their hazelnut. I think I was just expecting a different taste. So when I first had it, I was just like, ugh. But then I've gotten kind of used to it and I do kind of like it. It's still not my favorite, but yeah, I need to make a new order here soon because I really like it. P Pacific says there was an earthquake yesterday in Southern California, Malibu area. I wonder if Archie and Lilibeth's jet-setting parents got worried about them from party town Las Vegas. Well, what I think is funny too is that since Harry and Meghan have moved there, like they've had like horrific weather every winter, like horrific torrential rains, flooding, so many things. It's like since Harry and Meghan have moved there, they've like taken like the bad English weather with them. So, I mean, a lot of it is nice too, but I just think that's kind of funny. Deborah Wofield says, "Do you think Harry is prepared to sing the national anthem?" Well, I think that would be funny if he did. I think that would be funny what he did. So okay. Let's see. Oh, American Woman says, I see a ton of comments getting zapped. Well, it's not me. It's not me. Jojo says, you are forgetting UK employment law has a provision for families to have time off for illness, and there are many flexible practices for children. Yes, of course. But also, again, playing devil's advocate, because this is what other people who criticize the monarchy will be saying, is that they do have a lot of help that other people don't. So just putting that out there too. Brittany, God, disagree with you. Catherine and William are very hardworking. Not at all their work is publicized and glamorous. Just because they're not being papped does not mean they're not working. Yes, but unfortunately, as royals, you need to be seen to be believed. Queen Elizabeth herself said that. So again, it is a complicated dynamic. So just putting that out there, because I know sometimes people put William and Catherine a bit too much on the pedestal in comparison to Harry and Meghan. So there just needs to be, again, a balance, which I don't think Catherine and William's office always achieves effectively. And again, I've heard this has been around for a really, really long time. So let's see. So Sheridan Mason asks, I don't understand how Harry gets invited to these gigs, football speech, movie premiere. No idea. No idea. I have no idea. Wildcat Wilma says there's no Invictus Foundation left. Catherine and William kept it afloat with their $500,000+ donation after their phone hacking settlement in 2020. Yeah, I don't know exactly how, but yeah, the balance there is a little. It's interesting. But yeah, there is a Invictus Foundation, but it's not connected to the royal family at all anymore. Trisha says Pippa in the background, so cute. Yeah, she's my little, she's my puppy patrol. She lets me know if there's danger out there. Marlise says, good morning, Brittany. Will you do more group trips in the future? Yes, I will. So I'll be doing some more group trips again. Hopefully, if I can get the Scotland trip confirmed, I want to do a trip to the south of France, probably maybe in September. Kind of the same time I did the Germany-Austria trip last year. And then I will do as well, hopefully, the Christmas market trip, which will be late November, early December. Because I really want to do that, because that sounds super cool. Sugar Kiki says, what's the new Netflix going to be called? I think I'll eat some worms. An old song, nobody likes me, everyone hates me. I think I'll eat some worms. That's could be true. Barramenta says Invictus would probably get a huge funding boost if they announced Harry and Meghan stepped away from them. Yes. Perhaps, I don't know. It's just, again, they need to figure out what they stand for. Wildcat Wilma says, let's not forget they used Harry Potter's old premiere video of photographers claim to be stalking by the press. Yes, 100%. Asma says, did Harry have a phone during the phone hacking days? Yes, although they would also but this is all stopped. This has stopped since the early 2010s. They don't do this anymore because they can't do it anymore. There's encrypted phone, what they use WhatsApp and stuff like that. There's so many different options now. And so really the whole thing is kind of ridiculous and pointless because none of this is happening. Books and Coffee with Tara. Do you think Harry had the NFL gig prior to King Charles getting diagnosed, so that's why the trip was so short? Yes, that's what's been posited. Although I will say Royalty, a Twitter account I follow, who's a PR professional, also suggested that it was kind of a last minute addition so they could extend the attention Harry was getting from his father's diagnosis, that is true. Ugh. So nasty. It's Megan like Reagan says, we are also happy for you, Brittany. It's amazing to see your growth over just the last year. Why, thank you. Janet Claire says you couldn't get a job as a royal reporter because you actually know things. They proved to be clueless last week with Harry's UK trip over. Yes. Oh my gosh. I think it was CNN or something. Some of the coverage for the coronation was so abysmally bad from the American audiences, from the American reporters, which was just crazy. Mary Ruth Deal says, what about Richard III? Now that is an interesting thing because there's this whole controversy about Richard III. I do want to do something about it at some point because a lot of people think I have the book here about a book kind of about how, it's this one, The Princes in the Tower, because there's a whole bunch of people who think he did not murder his nephews. And I think he did because he became king and logic dictates if you kill the kids and you become king, you're probably responsible for killing the kids because you wanted to be king. Like that should be totally obvious. But anyways, that's yeah. So yeah, so I will definitely be reading that, and I'd love to do something on that. But again, I would like to do like at some point there will be a third like just history channel at some point. SRS says, good morning, Brittany. Love your compelling commentary. Do you know what the code is when the day come the king passes? The equivalent with London Bridge has fallen down. You know, I don't know. I don't know if we know that yet. So that'll be interesting to see. I do not know. Alice says, I have to go now. Gotta watch a rugby game. Bye, everyone. Love the live. Yay! Terry says, Kenna is impressed with Harriet or Meghan. The population in general finds them toxic. Yeah, I think so. Jenna's DC says Prince William and Tom Cruise are actual pilots, unlike the legend in his own mind. Yes. If Harry could prove to me he could fly something, I'd be really impressed. Asma says, I want to hear from the Spotify executive that called in grifters in the Zoom call with Harry. Oh, yeah, me too. That would be so awesome. Hi, Catherine. Your pup sounds adorable. Aw. Catherine, let your puppy watch 101 Dalmatians. Oh, it's just so cute. I love puppies. Puppies are the best. They are the best. They are difficult. I saw it looks like there's a new puppy in our neighborhood because somebody was taking him out. And it's like, oh, a puppy, and kind of missed a car coming down the road. So can't get too distracted. Brittany, you will absolutely love the Trader King. Brittany, Seirdre, Denise read it to us, and the comparison between Hazza and Megzi are astounding. Yes. Meza says, I wish people would have worked with Harry and Meghan to worked with Harry and Meghan to spill the beans, imagine the stories. Yes, but I'm sure they're all tied to NDAs. Christy says, let's not forget their parenting is going to be under the microscope so their kids won't turn into a Harry. Yes, 100%. Yes. And I think Catherine and William will do a good job. Of course they will. I think there are just unique challenges that come with being royal, and that sometimes can't always be 100% avoided. But I think given that they've had so much more stable upbringings than William did, I think, and Harry did, are going to be wildly successful for them. So let's keep going here. Just want to wrap this up here in the next little bit. Oh, I love this. Why would Catherine need a tummy tuck? There's nothing to tuck. 100%. I don't know why people are like, oh, Catherine had a tummy tuck. And I'm like, why? There's no tummy to tuck. I need a tummy tuck. She doesn't. Tom's Talk says, hi, Brittany, watching from Newport Beach, California. Can't wait to see where you take your company and business. Why, thank you. I'm super excited. Abdul's lifestyle. Oh, yeah. And we got Stephanie. I don't get the response about William. Do you think he should disobey the king's specific orders? Because it's something no one does, especially royal Harry. King wouldn't allow it. We don't know, again, what the specific order was. That's just reports. But again, there is a careful balance that you must maintain. So it is complicated, but I think there could be some changes that are made. And William will, because Camilla can do a lot of things, but William really is the face of the monarchy when Charles is out, because William is the blood royal. So they do need William out and about a lot. So Andrea Reach says, always enjoy your content. Why, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes. Reza Girl says, gotta go now. Bye, Brittany and everyone for now. Yes. Yes, we will go ahead and wrap up here because it's getting sort of late. But I just try to get through as many of the questions as I can. I know I missed some. Queen Camilla and Princess Catherine proved to be ideal partners for the monarchs. Yes, they chose well. I think they chose great partners, and I think this will be a strength going forwards. It's Megan like Reagan says, it was a classic social engineering. Type the default 123 passcode on voicemails, and shocker, celebrities didn't change their PIN codes. Yeah, you got to be careful. If you like Richard III, if you have to watch The White Queen. I have not watched it yet. I don't really even know that much about Richard III, but I am fascinated. I am fascinated. Well, what fascinates me is the controversy about whether or not he killed the boys. Because again, to me, it seems kind of obvious. But again, I could be totally wrong. So guys, anyways, we will go ahead and wrap this up for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. I can't wait to see you guys again next week and in another video here very, very soon. And Miss Pippa says bye too from downstairs and from her sleeping spot on the back of the couch. So guys, have a great day. We'll see you soon. Thank you so much. Bye.